Welcome back to the Triple F podcast, everyone.
That's Faith, Freakouts, and Flashbacks.
We got the band back together after a week of not posting.
I mean, it had to do with the audio quality. We had technical difficulties yet again. I feel like that's on brand for us at this point.
Hey, I wasn't lying when I said in the first episode we have no idea what we're doing. So yeah, that week I think we recorded at least 4 episodes and
they all got trashed. What was it? Like our voices were different ranges. Like some of them, we ended up sounding like we were
men or robots.
Bro,
it was so bad. So praying and hoping that this one
comes out decent.
Yeah, man. Seriously.
That's all we're asking for at this point.
Yeah. If I go back and edit and this one does not sound right, I'm just
post it.
I'm posting it. Like I don't even care at this point. I'm so over it. Okay.
What are we talking about?
I have, for the first time ever, listeners, I think me and Rosa are at odds over a subject.
What?
Okay.
I'm curious too. What is she talking about?
Sonic.
Okay.
I shouldn't. Okay. Over the weekend, it's true. It took me, I don't know, that movie came out like 2 years ago. I watched it finally over the weekend. And I went in with the expectations of not liking it because how much Rosa trash talked this movie. All of them, not just like the first one, like all of them. I've already seen the first one, but I haven't seen the second one nor the third one. She kept telling me, have you seen Sonic? Have you seen Sonic? I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. I didn't really care. Watch the second one. And then I was immediately had the urge to watch the third one because I thought it was that good. And when I saw Rosa after watching them, I was like, dude, I'm sorry, but they were good. I don't know what your deal is, but those movies were good.
I'm glad that movie found its target audience.
Oh my God.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay, wait. I will say there were a few things I didn't like about it.
Okay.
I thought Sonic's catchphrases just kept getting annoying and more predictable.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's his brand or whatever, but it was just getting to the point. It was Sonic 3 and he just would say something right before he ran or something, and it was just like, dude, come on. I need you to do better with the catchphrases.
I guess so.
But besides that was really the only thing I didn't like about it. The animation was really, the CGI was amazing.
Okay, that I will. After seeing Stitch live action remake, I gotta give props where it's due. Sonic did way better.
Oh yeah, when I was nervous because the mom or whatever was putting a blanket over him.
Yeah,
I was getting nervous. I was like, it's gonna come out bad, but it came out really good, and I was like, wow, okay, props to them for CGI. That was amazing. Mm-hmm. The other thing I did not like about it, oh my gosh, at least in Sonic 3, what the heck was that dance scene with the Eggman and his grandfather? What?
Okay.
That was so bad. That was bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I don't think I like Sonic. As his entire character. I remember the first movie,
mm-hmm.
I did not like him.
Ooh.
I thought he was so annoying, but I thought, okay, but he's kind of like a kid.
Yeah, he's a kid.
So I was like, okay, I'll give it a pass. Then the second one came out and it was no better. And the third one came out and I'm like, how are you getting more obnoxious?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I mean by the catchphrases. They just kept getting more and more
It's repetitive.
Yeah.
Almost in a sense.
And low effort. It's every social experiment YouTuber when they go up and they're pretending to be homeless and then nobody gives them money and they're just mad about it. They're like, I was faking all this time and you are the problem with the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just obnoxious.
But I also I don't like it when I don't know. I think it's just his character again. I just don't like him. The way he talks makes me feel like he's talking to an audience of 5-year-olds.
Do you mean his voice or
like whatever he says?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. And maybe there's a reason for that because his audience is supposed to be. No.
I'm not 5 years old.
But
okay.
Generally the younger public.
Yeah, I will say they definitely use a lot of oh, hello.
Silly gags and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of his jokes and stuff were geared more towards I guess Gen Z or even Gen Alpha, which I thought was really good. I haven't seen a movie that was meant for really younger target audience that was actually used the slang correctly or made it funny. Because I laughed a lot. I laughed so much, both ironically and unironically. There were parts and scenes where I was cracking up. You're gonna make fun of me, Rosa, but I actually cried.
How am I not surprised?
Okay. That last scene when Mr. Eggman and Shadow died, I was just
that made you cry?
It did. And I was also upset. I was like, there's no way they're gonna end it like that. They're actually gonna die. What? And then when they actually ended it like that, I was like, my God. Why?
I think that might have been the only part of the movie that I liked. I like that we're not encouraging happy endings. That's not.
Oh,
I don't want them to always be happy because then it's predictable, dude.
Yeah, I was shocked by that because usually in kids movies, you see it all the time, especially in Star Wars, where a character dies and then all of a sudden their death means nothing because in the next movie they're just kidding, they're back as a ghost or
reincarnated or something.
Yeah,
just brought back to life, and it's what is this?
What was the point of their death then?
Why are you playing with my feelings like that?
Yeah. So I really liked that. I thought it was funny. The CGI was amazing. The acting besides Sonic was really good. I think overall my favorite character in the what is it called? The series or saga, whatever.
Okay.
My favorite character has been Knuckles.
He
is hilarious.
I do like Knuckles.
He's so funny, bro. Oh my goodness. I love him so much.
He's got great vibes.
He does. He does have great vibes. And also I think the characters that play the humans, the parents, they do a good job. They have really good chemistry. So I think overall I have to give it and this is a children's movie. There hasn't really been any good Lilo and Stitch was the last movie we saw for children, and that had terrible acting and terrible directing and terrible writing.
Oh, for sure.
So for them to have this much momentum to even make a fourth one, I gotta say it's a solid 9 out of 10 for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
I'm engaged. I'm ready. I'm so ready for the fourth one where they're gonna bring out the pink one. I think her name is Amy, right?
Amy.
Yeah.
I listen. I hate on Sonic so bad, but I'm curious as to what they're gonna do with this, with the fourth movie when she comes out, because there's two ways that I can think of this going. They're either gonna make her into Peach girl boss from Mario movie type girl, which I really don't want for her. But they could also make her that annoying character that falls head over heels for Sonic. Just love at first sight, which I hate.
I think the way that they presented her, she'll probably be more girl boss.
Girl boss?
Because she saved him in the end credit scene.
I've seen a couple theories where it's maybe she's from the future and she already knows Sonic and blah blah blah.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I'm a hardcore. This is gonna sound so bad. I'm a hardcore Amy and Shadow shipper.
Well, Shadow is dead. So.
I know, but why did they bring it back? Mess with my feelings on that one, please.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's it. What do you rate it?
I rated a 5.
Wow. Yeah, we've never been more at odds on a subject, y'all. This is unprecedented.
From I don't know. I feel like I've seen some pretty terrible movies, but that one was all right. Only got a 5 because Sonic was in it.
To be fair, have you ever played the Sonic games?
No.
Okay, so then that's
I'm just a heart.
That's who he's supposed to be. Like, that's how he's always been. He's been like the cocky. Well, I think this is. I haven't played it that much, but I think this is the first time they ever explored him being like a kid.
Okay.
And that's kind of like his setback as a hero. But for the most part, I remember Sonic being pretty much like a cocky kid. Especially even when we were playing the video games, like he would always have those catchphrases, but they weren't obnoxious. They were like,
But like these catchphrases, it sounded like he got them from like a really old comic strip. Like that's where his inspiration came from, and they're not like good. They're not funny. I feel like I feel like I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, that was bad.
No, I liked the end scene for Sonic 2 where he was like going, I don't even know what, Super Sega mode, and he was all like rainbowy and gold, and Knuckles is like, he'll never be the same, and then like a chili cheese dog comes down. That was pure comedy. That was great. And maybe I'm biased because I love chili cheese dogs, but I thought that was awesome.
I just did side-eye to you so hard.
Whatever. Well, listeners, let us know what you think. Did you love the Sonic movies? Are you a Sonic hater? Are you excited for Sonic 4? And what are your ships? We would love to know.
Amy and Shadow forever. We would have appreciated her so much more.
Oh my god.
I think it's just Sonic in the movie, dude. I've seen like the animated series, like not like the old one, but like the more recent one that was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Where it looked like it was gonna be hot garbage, but it had its really funny moments. I like that one. I like Sonic in that one because he's like sassy.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to be, like a sassy character.
Well, they butchered his character in this one. I'm sorry.
I think a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't say butchered, but I don't think they get it. I think they made him more like Deadpool.
Yeah,
it's like they're trying to be
tried
the PG version of Deadpool.
We tried. But no.
Well, what was I gonna say? One more thing. Shoot, it's escaping me now. But yeah, I like Sonic. That was good.
Oh, listeners, I convinced Speed to check out Star versus the Forces of Evil, which I know nobody asked about, but I really hate that show. I hate watched it. The entire 4 seasons I hate watched. That ending sucked. I'm so sorry. I know we have like a couple, or we have one specific friend that's like a hard die fan. But I'm sorry. I just hated it. I hated the last season. I hated most of that 3rd season. It's just like, why are we encouraging toxic relationships in Disney shows?
I mean, they've been doing that forever, right? You told me they did the toxic relationship in the Cartoon Network, Steven Universe.
Oh.
Isn't that like full of toxic relationships?
Oh, yeah, but it was like subliminal. This one was in your face.
I guess. Because I remember you telling me that in Adventure Time too. See? This is everywhere. Okay. What is up with...
I don't like it.
What?
It's gross. It's gross. Okay. Adventure Time. What is it about cartoons where like whoever's writing these story plots, what is it about them exploring like relationships and then everything going downhill from there? Because regular show always had problems from day one. I love that show, but
I mean their main character was a raccoon, so,
and a blue jay. Mordecai is a total simp.
Oh.
He's been memed out as the ultimate simp.
Wow.
Yeah. But like, it wasn't always that bad. For regular show.
Mm-hmm.
it was comedic and it was lighthearted, and then when they further developed the romantic plot between him and that one red bird, I can't remember her name.
Redbird.
It just went downhill from there. I mean, the show was still entertaining, but it was almost uncomfortable to watch in some scenes where those two main characters were present.
I've never watched either. I'll tell you right now.
Adventure Time?
I've never watched Adventure Time. I've never watched regular show. I've seen, like, I wouldn't say enough to be like, yeah, I watched it. I've watched a couple episodes here and there, but it never really called my attention.
Yeah. For good reason.
Yeah. But yeah, I do see that being like even like with the shows that are on Disney now, like what was it? Mac? You know that show? Mac? Something Mac. It was like Hannah Montana, so it was like real acting.
Yeah.
But it was a show about this girl, and I think her name was Mac, and she had these like two other friends, and the whole show was basically like Degrassi, but on Disney Channel. And it's like they keep doing this thing where like they mature the audience to see these characters like deal with real life relationship problems, or stuff like that. And like, yeah, and Hannah Montana, she definitely had a couple relationships here and there, but they were so goofy and like over characterized, if that's even a word. Like, they were so over the top that you like, in one episode she had a boyfriend, and then they broke up, and it was like fine. It wasn't like, oh my, like the deepest they ever got with those relationships was, I think, like one of her boyfriends cheated on her and she cried about it and her dad consoled her, and then they moved on by the next episode.
They did the same thing with what is it, Good Luck Charlie?
Oh,
do you remember that show?
Yes,
I did the same thing there.
Remember Spencer.
Spencer was Spencer.
Why is it always the guy that's like cheating? Like I'm sorry, but come on.
Well,
pick a different plot.
Well, actually, didn't they do that in Hannah Montana where she was the one cheating? Like, she was like double dating?
She wasn't cheating.
She wasn't?
No, because they technically weren't going out yet, but she couldn't make up her mind. That's why they made that song. He could be the one. She couldn't decide which one to pick, but they weren't dating.
I was so upset when like she was like, just give me a sign or whatever, and then she had like the picture of
the two guys, and they were both talking,
and then one of them flew away, and she was left with like I guess you could call him the bad boy, and she smiled and she's like, okay, and then next thing you know, she just ditches that one and goes to the next dude.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, how could the universe have been more clearer?
You wanted her to pick the bad boy?
I really did.
No, but yeah,
I don't. The one.
I don't. Yeah, I really could have. I don't know, dude. I don't really like it. They've been doing that for forever now. Yeah,
she did it really funny though.
It was like funny. Yeah, it wasn't something serious. It's you're making TV shows for children. They shouldn't be worried about like tóxicas y tóxicos.
Do you know? I think. Have you seen that one show with? What's her name? Where it's like two friends and they're in like the big city. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Disney, Nickelodeon, or Disney. Two friends in the big city.
Yeah, and
is this a movie or a show?
No, it's a show. It was a show. Do people know what I'm talking about?
I don't. I feel like I'm getting there, but you need to describe more.
One of them was blonde and the other one was like brunette. It was from Girl Meets World. Yes, that one. Girl Meets World. That's the one I'm talking about. Sorry. It just...
Okay. Yeah, Girl Meets World. What about it?
They were fighting over the same boy.
Oh my God.
And then their friendship got ruined. And I feel like that... When the series got to that point, it felt too real and too uncomfortable to watch.
Look, I get it. They tried to recreate Boy Meets World, but they just didn't.
There was also this really weird plot about one of the blonde girl.
Yeah.
She had a crush on this older guy.
Oh.
Right? And everybody and their mother was like, why don't you date her? It's only like a 4-year difference or whatever Yeah, whatever age gap they had. I don't remember if it was 4 or 5. I can't remember. And he was like in college or something. And this college girl goes up to him or to the girl, and she's like, "Listen, I know it looks like a really big age gap, but college life is not a big deal. Once you're 18 and he's however old he is, it's gonna be just fine, and you two can get together." And I don't know how that managed to get into Disney, because what is that?
Okay. I'm going to press the hot topic button.
Go ahead.
Press. There were moments, and especially at the beginning of Girl Meets World, that I really loved.
Yeah.
Because it was like very nostalgic. I loved it. But then I stopped watching after they started adding that black boy and then that random other girl into the group, because I was like, what is going on? There's so many times where I've seen clips online where like the episode where they found out that one of their friends was autistic, and Sabrina Carpenter was like, she acted like she had just found out he had like cancer or something.
Right. Why are you doing that? It's autism.
Episodes like that are so bad, poorly directed and poorly written, that makes me cringe, because it doesn't do justice to Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World was such a good sitcom, and it did have serious moments, but it was more like, I want to say it was like more like Full House vibes.
Okay.
But more relatable things. And it wasn't just about family. Like, it was about Corey and his life and like what it is to like grow up as a teenager. It was definitely coming of age. And I loved it. So to see them butcher so much, like the heart behind it, ugh. It was not.
What a shame.
It was a shame. I was kind of disappointed in that. I liked it at the beginning, like I said. It was pretty good. They did some episodes that were pretty good, but there was a lot that they did wrong.
There's a lot of problematic stuff on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of problematic reboots.
Okay. Hit me with your best shot.
Fire away. You know that song?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
Oh, wait. No, yeah.
Okay.
I got the reference.
Okay. What the heck was Raven's home?
A hot mess. Oh,
I'm sorry, boo.
That's not the thing.
You know that cat meme? Home.
What?
I'm sorry, but why in the end she just left her daughter and just took her son to move back to San Francisco? Like, what? What was that?
Was that the ending?
Yeah.
What?
Literally. Okay. So they had spent like 2 or 3 seasons building this like lovable cast of characters. It was Raven, it was Chelsea, her son, and Raven had her twin, her son and daughter. They were twins. Okay. And then, they're friends in the neighborhood or whatever. Tell me why in the last season, for some reason, they built this plot where the dad had like gotten sick.
Yeah.
And so she had to fly home to live with her dad to take care of him. But she only brought her son because he's the only one that has psychic abilities and her daughter doesn't.
What is this favoritism?
And they got rid of Chelsea and her son, which is like, what?
So what was the point of bringing them on the show in the first place?
I don't know. Like, I think I've seen her. She's been on a couple podcasts where she kind of talked about it.
Okay.
And she was like mad about it. She did not leave that show with like a good taste in her mouth.
Who? Which one?
The girl who played Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah, she was very upset about that. So like they ruined it. I was like, it's the same thing they did with Bunked. When
okay. Bunked was pretty bad. Because like midway through the show, all the original cast was gone, and then you were stuck with like that curly-haired kid.
Yes.
Who didn't have anything to do with.
They even got rid of him.
Oh, never mind.
Really, the only one that survived was the older girl who had nothing to do with anything. Like,
was she like the camp counselor or something?
Yeah. They did the same thing. So the same thing they did at Bunked, they did at Raven's home. They got rid of all the original characters and the whole reason why we're watching, and they just completely changed all the like A whole new cast of characters. For what?
Mm-mm.
We're doing a reboot off a reboot now? Is it that bad?
I guess, man. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel about the iCarly reboot.
Oh my
That
god.
one was bad.
I didn't even. Okay, I don't have Paramount Plus. When it came out, I didn't have it. And even when it did come out, I wasn't like rushing the Paramount Plus to add my subscription just to get it. But I have not heard good things about it.
I do have Paramount Plus. And I ended up watching it after like, I think like a month of it being advertised that I was there because it just did not look good. And I watched, I think the first couple episodes. That was bad. You know how Jeanette McCurdy respectfully did not want to go on that show anymore?
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's outgrown it.
Mm-hmm.
And respects for her for not giving in to peer pressure. That show was terrible. They replaced her with
a black gay girl.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Diversity.
And I don't know. The actor that plays Spencer, he was the only reason that I went on to hop onto that show because he was like the saving grace of that show, carrying that show on his back for real. No, it's just like, give it a rest, man.
What didn't they end on like the worst like cliffhanger where it was like Freddie and Carly were finally gonna get back together,
It's
and
like
then
that will they won't they type of thing, but they already like Freddie has an adopted daughter, I think.
Yeah,
it just I don't know where they were going with it. Like you would think like a reboot of iCarly, maybe years later they would just finally be married and just be like, I don't know,
together.
Yeah, no.
Because we already did 7 seasons of Will They Won't They, and then you made us wait 4 more seasons.
We needed more of that, apparently.
You gotta watch the show for something.
You know what they made as like an explanation of why Sam isn't on there anymore? Because they do give an explanation.
No, I don't know why.
They're like, oh yeah, she just went and joined this motorcycle gang, and they ran off into the sunset. Well, not ran off, but like they drove off into the sunset, traveling the world or something like that.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Close the chapter, but not enough to like not give her, like, if she wants to do a cameo, she could still pop in.
I feel like they could have done something where it was like a phone call or something. It didn't have to be her, but it would have been like, oh yeah, Sam just called every now and then. No, they just addressed her absence at the beginning of the episode. And then they like stared at the camera, kind of like, yeah, she wishes she was here. And it was really awkward because everybody knows exactly why she doesn't want to be there anymore.
Okay. Did you ever watch Fuller House?
I'm searching in my mind cabinet. I think I watched like a couple episodes, but it wasn't like the entire episode. Like whenever it would pop up on TV and I was switching through channels and just stayed for curiosity. Was it good?
Not Full House. Fuller House.
Oh, absolutely not.
The reboot sitcom. No. Okay.
I did not know there was a reboot.
Yes. Okay, listeners. My deal was with Rosa that if I watch Star versus the Forces of Evil, she needs to watch a sitcom because I'm the sitcom queen.
She really is.
I love sitcoms. I know so much about them. I'm a nerd for sitcoms. Okay. But the issue is there's not really if you're a sitcom nerd like me, you know that any successful sitcom has to be at least 7 seasons. If it only has 4 or less, that show was not good because it was canceled. So it has to be at least 7. If it's really good, it'll get approved for more after that. And then if it's bad, it won't stop like Family Guy. But Family Guy's not a sitcom. So besides the point. Okay, so Rosa, my challenge to you is even though Fuller House doesn't have only 4 seasons like Star versus the Forces of Evil, okay, I challenge you to watch the first 4.
Of the reboot?
Yes.
Okay. I can do that.
I think you will.
Was it good?
This is why I bring it up. They did the same exact thing in Fuller House that they did in that iCarly reboot you just described.
Oh my God.
Because Michelle is not in it. The Olsen twins did not come back. And I mean, they don't really explain, like, I don't know the reason.
Oh my gosh, I did watch it.
You did?
Yeah, I did watch Full House.
Fuller House.
Not Fuller House, Full House. So I will have a basis.
Okay, yeah, good. You watched Full House, so now you can watch Fuller House. Okay, but here's the thing. With Fuller House, the Olsen twins does not come back. So
Rightfully so.
Michelle's not back. And I think the reason why, at least I don't know much about it, but I think I know the reason. Part of the reason was because they don't want to act anymore, and they become really successful, like in fashion. They have like their own clothing brand and stuff like that. So they just don't feel a need to come back. And they kind of hint at that too in the show, where they're like, well, Michelle sends her love, but she's too busy running her, what is it, like $1 million fashion empire. And then they all like stop and look at the camera.
Why do they do that? That is so awkward and uncomfortable. Like, just let these women do what they want with their lives. They're grown. Leave them alone.
I was like, ain't no way. And that, but they don't do like it with at least with Fuller House. Every once in a while, they keep mentioning and referencing the fact that Michelle isn't there. Like there's another episode where one of the characters wants to get Mary Kate and Ashley like shirt or something like that, and the prices are so outrageous, which they really are in real life. I think like thousands of dollars for like a shirt or something. And so the mom is like, I'm not made of money. What do you think? But then the other character was like, at these prices, it's no wonder those two stopped acting. They don't need to act. It was so... And then they looked at the camera again. Oh my God.
Stop.
It was
This is what I'm going to be watching?
Yeah. It's a good sitcom. Listen. It's not my... I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I think it's good. It's very cheesy. It's very nostalgic to the original, and
I gave you something that I hate watch, so I think it's only fair that you give me a review.
So I would say I hate watched it, but I will say I watched it for the cringe sometimes.
Okay,
and it was funny. It was funny for most of it was pretty funny. It definitely has its cringe moments. And I liked it though. I think it has like 6 seasons or something like that.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a go, and then after the 4th season is over, if I'm still entertained, I'll just complete it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's not as wholesome as the first one. There's a couple scenes in it that I don't love. And I do think that's just TV in general. Like they just don't make wholesome TV anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Like family-friendly PG stuff. That's just the world, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Oh, wow. Made it all the way out here.
I forget that there's summer school, and so when I see these buses out here, like, what are you doing?
School's over. Do you know the funny thing is we're already halfway through the summer.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It don't even feel like 104 days, does it?
Oh.
Maybe it was taxed out from like those hurricane makeup days.
Another 104 days. Have you seen it yet?
No. No, it did not look appetizing to my eyes.
I remembered what it was that they changed in the song. So, yeah, they just added another. So it's like, another 104 days of summer vacation.
I thought, like, if you were to make, because it is a reboot, if you were going to make a reboot of that, wouldn't you think that you would change the animation sequence to the intro? Like, give us some new scenes. Why are you using the old one?
It's not a reboot.
It's just 104 more days.
It is. They advertise it as not a reboot. They advertise it as a revival. So it's all the same show. It's all the same. It's just another season. It's not a reboot.
I still think it would have been more exciting if they changed that title sequence.
They really should have. Honestly, they should have just not done more episodes. Those voice actors are shot. Like, and it's not even their fault. It just comes with old age or voice changes.
I think
It gets deeper, and you can hear it. You can hear it.
I actually do have a reboot that I like.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is going back old school.
Spill your guts.
Do you remember Rugrats? Did you ever see All Grown Up? 4, 3, 2, 1. All grown up.
Oh my goodness!
That was a good one, wasn't it?
I loved
So good.
I love the reboot to the Rugrats show.
I really loved the dynamic between Angelica and what was her name?
Susie.
Carmichael. Because it explored their friendship. I mean, of course, Angelica was still kind of like
A brat.
she thought she was the it girl. that was the vibe. She really thought she ate every episode. No, but Susie was a good.
The first episode is her. I watched it recently. The first episode is her auditioning to be like a pop star, and she really thought she ate that.
Everybody was covering their ears, including me.
And then here comes Susie with this voice of an angel.
And I think, what was it that Angelica said? She's like, she's not all that.
Yeah, something like that. She's like, well, we can't all be great singers.
Bruh.
Oh my goodness. I love that reboot. That's been a while though. I think that came out in had to be
2008?
Yeah.
Something like that, dude.
Somewhere around there. It was so good.
And it was pretty good for the time period. I don't know. That one was really good. And I don't have any complaints for that. It even explored the relationship between the twins.
Yes.
Where it's they want to be individuals. They don't want to be considered the same person. Which is, yeah.
That one had everything. Comedy, emotional depth. It was PG. It was funny, unironically.
Bring back the shows like that.
It was so good. And the animation was really good too. It gives you that nostalgic 90s vibe. Mm-hmm. Animation style. It was such a good show. And the songs were so good. And the fact that they got all the same voice actors back.
And they didn't sound horrible.
They didn't. They didn't sound like SpongeBob about ready to plot and die. It was so good. Oh my goodness. I love that reboot.
What a show. I gotta watch that again. I got it a DVD. I remember there's one where they go to an Amish community. Have you seen that episode?
Is it? And Lil is dressed in the Amish clothes?
Listen, Angelica was not thriving in that. She wanted to text. Bruh, no.
Leave my poor girl Angelica alone. I love her. She's a character that I loved, even though I hated her.
I loved her in the Rugrats, dude. She was my favorite character because she was so mean. I loved her. It's yes. Be that bratty girl.
Isn't that how your cousins are?
It's animated. But in real life, bro, be humble. Sit down.
Mio.
Bruh. I can't stand them. No. Kids are cute. It's just, parent them well, please.
One of my favorite stories from Rosa's family is...
Is it the French fry one?
It's the French fry one.
Okay.
Go ahead. Spill your guts.
Listen up. Imagine you're in a vehicle with relatives, not your immediate family, but with your cousins and your aunt and your uncle. They're like, let's go to the beach. Rosa, we're taking you to the beach. I'm like, okay, but I just got out of work. I haven't really eaten anything. Okay, let's stop at McDonald's and get you something. That's so nice of you. All right, uncle and auntie. We go to the McDonald's, and yeah, we get me a meal with fries and a thing of chicken nuggets. I was so happy. And here comes my snotty-nosed 3-year-old cousin. He looks at me and he sees that I have food and he starts crying and shouting and screaming. And he's like, mine! And he has those grabby little fingers of his pointing towards my chicken nugget and French fry box. And he's like, that's mine! Give me it! Screaming to the top of his lungs. aunt and uncle are not doing anything. They're just driving. I'm so sick of this child by now. They've been hanging around for like 3 days, and it's been 3 days of hectic chaos like that. I couldn't stand him. So what do? I take a french fry, a single french fry, and I hold it up to his face. And I'm like, do you want it? And he starts like grinning, like he thinks he's going to get it. And he's like, uh-huh, mine. He's over there so excited. And I smile at him with the biggest smile I got. And I take that french fry in front of his face and I eat it in front of him. And he goes crazy. He starts crying, screaming 3 times as loud. I did not care. I was the happiest I've ever felt in those 3 days of misery with them. I was laughing. And then they turned around the car and they had to go back to McDonald's to get him a Happy Meal because he just would not stop crying. Why do you let in to your kids like that? Give him a good old whipping. That's what he needed.
Beat that boy like they beat that girl in The Color Purple.
Yes. That was the sentiment. They did not do that though.
I love the story so much.
It's just like the visual of like,
don't let Rosa ever watch your kids.
I listen, I love tormenting my little cousins like that. They're so annoying. I love them so much.
I've never I don't even know what to say to that story except for the verse comes to mind. Fathers, don't provoke your children to anger.
No. This one provoked me to anger so many times. Listen. If your child cannot understand the word no, that's a problem. That's on you.
Man, kids are hard. Like, teaching them no means no. I've seen a lot of different parenting styles. Like, I've seen whoopings. Yeah. I've seen ignoring, giving in. I've seen redirecting. And I think the one that works the most is just like teaching them, hey, you're not going to get what you want, but you're also not going to get what you want by crying. So stop.
Yeah, that's what my dad did to me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I don't got any sympathy for these kids. Like, I remember once I started what you call a berrinche in Spanish, where it's like a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get like this doll that I probably would have like forgotten in 2 days. Be real. My dad looked at me and he said, you can cry all you want. I'm leaving with or without you. And I didn't think it was serious. So being a child, I threw my temper tantrum and I sat on the floor. And I watched him walk away. And he left to the car. And after like 3 minutes of him not being there, I got scared. So you know what I did? I got up and ran outside. Did he leave? No, he was in the car waiting for me. Because he knew I was going to get up. And from that day forth, I didn't do that ever again.
It's one-on-one parenting advice from Rosa.
From my dad. Hey, he's a good dad. I'll give it to that. That was pretty good.
All right.
That's how I'm gonna be.
Let me shout out one of my. I was never a bad kid.
No.
In my whole life, I think I got like 2 spankings. Okay. But for the most part, I was a pretty good kid. It wasn't until my sister was born that my real rival was born.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. It's when you have siblings, like, you just fight. And so even though my sister and me are like 8 years apart, like, we would just fight and not get along. Like, I'm fighting with a 2-year-old or something like that. And I'm 10.
Yeah.
So, I think at some point my mom was just so over it. We wouldn't stop fighting. And it really was just that I loved I loved messing with her, and I loved getting her to like cry and whine. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. I know my mom is listening. I'll admit it. It was me. I was the problem. I loved poking at her and just getting her like riled up. And so my mom finally got tired of it. She took 2 chairs, put them back to back, and she put it in her room. She grabbed the belt. She was like, "You're not getting out of this room until you stop fighting." And from this moment on, when you get out of this room, when you're ready to stop fighting, if like that was it. No more fighting ever. And for some reason it worked. I don't know. We sat in there back to back. We did not speak until I was like, all right, mom is serious. She got the belt. So I don't remember if she actually did hit us, or I think she did hit us, and then we sat in the chair and she's like, stop fighting. And then she locked us in the room, and she didn't lock the door, but she closed the door, and she was like, you're not getting out until you work it out. We came out of there and we never fought again.
She put the fear in God in you.
That's so funny. I saw this. Oh, sorry, listen. Get a text. But that is so funny. What you just said reminded me of this hilarious video clip that I saw of this like worker. She was on her phone, and then her other coworker comes by and she's like, "You better put that phone away. You're gonna get in trouble by the boss." And she looks at her and she's like, "I'm a grown woman. I don't get in trouble by nobody but my mama and God." And then the boss comes in and she hides her phone. Oh, man. So, yeah. I don't have too many of those. I don't think I ever threw a temper tantrum for toys or stuff like that, though. I was just like a happy little kid. Okay.
I mean, they say like if you're good at parenting, or maybe just good at discipline, right, you might not even have to hit your child.
You shouldn't have to. Like, I think from my perspective, I don't have children. So take whatever you want from this with a grain of salt. But like from the books and the podcasts I've listened to about parenting in a Christian way,
yeah,
you definitely should, if it's warranted, you should hit your children, because the Bible says if you withhold the rod, you spoil the child, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also of the agreement that you should never discipline them when you're angry as a parent, because essentially, like, when God gives you children, he's giving you an opportunity to reflect who he is and how he's a father and how he parents us.
Yeah, little eyes are watching.
Yeah, so God never disciplines us as his children out of wrath or anger. He disciplines us when he's of a sound mind and with love in mind. When you love someone, you discipline them because you don't want them to continue on sinning or continue down a path of destruction. If you don't care, you just give in and do whatever because you're just being selfish and you just want the child to stop crying. Because it's not really about them, it's about you just wanting them to shut up. But like when you discipline your children, you shouldn't be disciplining them when you're angry. So if you're, and I've done this before too. I don't have children, but like I've said it before, I do Sunday school where there are times where I get really angry because for whatever reason, the child just doesn't listen or chooses to be disobedient. So in those moments, I don't say anything, I don't do anything, I just kind of walk away. And then I revisit whenever I have had a moment to just pray and breathe about it. And then I talk to them and I still discipline them. Because discipline doesn't mean like brute force anger. It means whatever it means. It can mean a timeout or having a talk or sometimes spanking them, but making sure that they understand why they're being disciplined and like there's purpose and reason behind it. Not just, I'm just going to hit you first and then
explain why I hit you later.
Yeah, or never
if at all.
Or yeah, if at all, like just hit you just to shut up. Or I can't stand when like parents tell their children to shut up, or like they just are disrespectful to their children. How can you expect your child to respect you if you disrespect them constantly and belittle them constantly? Like God doesn't do that to us. So why do you think it's okay for you to do that
Right.
to a child just because they're little? So yeah, that's just sometimes you may have to hit them, but it should never be out of anger. It should always be with the heart of like it's kind of funny. It reminds me of that saying of like this hurts you more than it. Oh my goodness. I literally put it on do not disturb. Anyways, it reminds me of that saying. I don't fully agree, but it's that saying like this hurts me more than it hurts you.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Like, emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It grieves me to hit you.
yeah, I don't enjoy disciplining you.
No, yeah. But discipline is definitely necessary. I've seen like where people argue that discipline towards a child is a form of abuse, which, excuse you? I said discipline, not abuse. You know, do you know where to draw the line? Because if you don't, I think that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like with specific children that I've been around and specific adults. When you don't know how to discipline your child, you're essentially crippling them. You're making like this safe bubble where everything is appropriate and nothing deserves punishment. You're making a terrible human being.
Hey, if you don't discipline your child, the world will. Meaning, if you don't, yeah, exactly. If you don't discipline them when they're little, they're just gonna end up in jail or dead, shot and dead.
It's a shame too, because it's like that. Yeah, when you see like these, I'm so sorry, this may be like a jump, but criminals, yeah, they have control of their actions, and a lot of what they do, that's on them. But you also got to think that was also partially the parents to blame. Not in all cases. I'm sure like there are some where it's like the parents were great and it's just the child just turned into something wicked. But
well, it's funny. I've shared this with you before, but I want to share it with the listeners. Like sometimes people I get the sense of like that discipline and structure is like bad for children and we should just let them do whatever they want to do and have the freedom whatever they want. As long as nobody gets hurt or they feel fine, like let them do whatever. But even when children or teenagers or youth, whatever, they run away from home to join a gang, like in a gang there are rules that you have to follow. And there's a leader that for one way or another, maybe twisted or whatever, disciplines the members that step out of line. So, and these are young people that run from households where there is no structure and
they're looking for it.
Yeah, or they don't have a father to help the mom, build a home for the child. They strive and look for like structure and discipline. I love what our pastor says, right? Dad is destiny. It's so true. The fatherlessness of America is such a big problem. And I think it affects more areas of our country than we would to admit,
Yeah.
Like, I think something about like 80% of the men that are in jail right now come from fatherless households. And I think something even similar, like a similar percentage is true about men who turn out to be gay or even trans. Like they come from a household where there was no father figure. Exactly. And I'm not saying like being a criminal is the same as being gay or a trans person, but I do see like if there has to be, I'm curious as to why those two things are the same and how do they connect? In what way do they connect? Because both come from fatherless households and both have, the outcome that they do.
I'm sure there's like a factor that they hold in similarity.
Mm-hmm.
You see that happens like it doesn't always overlap being in a fatherless household and being criminal. It doesn't always overlap, but there seems to be a good enough percentage of people with those factors where it's like, That's curious.
I'm serious. It's like 80 or 90%. There's another statistic too about like if you don't have a father in the household, some father figure in the household, um, like you end up not going to college, you're not finishing school or something like that. And I'm not even talking about like having a really good role model, just having a father figure in the house in general changes and impacts a child's life. It's even more significant when that father in the household is like a really good godly man to follow.
Yeah.
But people, I guess, there's like this trend of like belittling men, or it's time to suppress men and lift up women. But I've never been in favor of that personally, because it's like, so in order for you to feel better about your gender, you need to put someone else down. Like,
it don't make no sense.
It doesn't make sense. If you want equality, then you shouldn't be able to really put anybody down. That's not equality. That's just you getting revenge for whatever reason you want to.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't agree with, but that's just my hot take on it.
When you, because you got me thinking about like fatherless households. I do not come from that kind of household. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, I got a great dad. I love my dad. He's great. But he wasn't always he's not perfect at all. But he's definitely grown from the time that I was little. He used to drink a lot at parties. He used to be a party kind of guy. And I remember like that was hard on my mom. But like over the years he's changed, he's matured, he's even matured in the faith, which is wonderful. And that change has brought peace to our household. But I like to think to acknowledge that not everybody comes from that kind of household where there is peace in the home, or where marriage is like respected and upheld in such a way where it's honorable, and like to have that example. That's really sad, because like I imagine in those situations where you may not have one parent is absent from the household, that puts a lot of pressure on the remaining parent, because they gotta find you daycare, they gotta take care of you and take care of the household needs, and just all that piling up on them. It's easy to see where a child could feel neglected in a lot of areas.
Yeah, the way that God designed for them to live their life is in a way corrupted whenever a parent is missing from the picture. And for better or for worse, like it's not a hopeless, like there's so many beautiful stories of single parents raising children, and then it turns out to be amazing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come without like serious struggles and pains. It's like when you don't have that, you're right, when you don't have that other support from the other spouse, you're right, you have to look for daycare to watch your child while you go to work. Because if the child gets sick, or if you get sick, like you don't have anybody else to watch that child, you have to make it work, or you just don't go to work and then you don't have money.
It's hard, because then like who are you leaving your child with too? You never know.
Yeah.
And sadly we do have predators out there who take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, I came from a single parent household for, I think at least the first 3 years of my life. Even while I'm gonna count 4 from when my mom was pregnant, it was just me and her, and like there's no way that she could have done those first few years of my life without the support of our family. Mm-hmm. Because it's just hard. Like I remember she used to tell me all of her paycheck would just go to just daycare, all of it, almost all of it, because it was a lot to pay somebody to just take care of me, on top of like the other things that I needed. So if it was not for like our family, like my grandma, my uncle, giving us a place to stay and just like watching me, like
yeah.
One which who knows how I would have turned out, or who knows what I would have done. So and there's actually so for this one of the last classes I've been doing for the summer for my degree, one of them talked about that, about how the home dynamic affects the child, and how in America there has been a significant rise in what they call blended families, where it's like you'll have a stepmom or a stepfather.
Yeah.
Because for some reason there was this huge like skyrocket of just divorces, and there still is like 50 something, I think 58% of marriages end in divorce around the world. And so with all the divorce rates and just like men just getting women pregnant and just not stepping up, all of that culminated into what we see now. Like it's a very common thing now to
It's
see.
almost like normalized.
Yeah.
Which is terrible.
Well, it is terrible, but at the same time it's not. It's kind of awesome that, you know, other people are willing to love and help take care of children that are not their own.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's terrible that there are people out there who are like impregnating and not taking responsibility for that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is wild.
What are you doing, sir?
No, I don't know. But I like it. I love the story like of adoption and the way that it represents like our story to God, how he adopts us as his children. So I just think there's so much beauty in adoption, and I love it, and I would love to do it like one day, to be able to do that. I feel like it's not like, oops, you happen on accident. Like, no, I chose you on purpose.
Yeah.
You are my child because I chose you. It's the same way with God and us. So yeah, fatherlessness is real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. I think that's a great point to stop at in our podcast.
I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Of course you did, because you listened all the way to the end, so you loved it.
Please let us know what reboots were your favorite.
And which ones did you absolutely hate?
Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hate watch with you.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.